What's up, everybody? How's it going? We are Talk About It Thursday. So, every Thursday, I'm going to pick something that's going on in the world and I'm going to talk about it. And it's such a beautiful day. The freaking clouds. Beautiful! I hope you can see. But I'm just hanging out. It's been raining all day. This is the first time the sun's really out today. So I'm just soaking it in. It's still a little bit cool, but I like it like this. I don't really like when it gets hot around here. It's really fucking humid. We're in swamp territory, so it's like sticky, humid, or freezing. But right now, it's a happy medium, and I love fall for that reason, and I love spring for that reason. But anyway, Talk About It Thursday, we are talking about education, and I've talked about it before, how I feel like SUNY schools should be free to American citizens for, especially, like, I understand they need to make money, so they don't have to offer, like, everything for free, but important jobs that we need, like nurses, doctors, dentists, psychologists, teachers, police officers. I mean, I think they get their, I don't know if they have to pay. I've never tried to be a cop, but you know what I mean? Firemen, volunteer firemen should get paid for what they do. They're risking their lives, and we have all these fire departments out here surviving off people volunteering their time, and it's a lot of time. I have a lot of family that's gone through the firefighting thing. My grandpa was a firefighter, and you have to dedicate a lot of time away from your family, and they don't get paid, and they're running in fires. The only people that get paid are the people in New York City, maybe like Albany or Capital. Like, you have to be in like Boston. They all get paid because that shit round the clock, you know what I mean? But anyway, side note. So in that aspect, I was like, we need to provide these educations, one, because they got to go to school for a very long time, and they're coming out of colleges $100,000 at minimum in debt just to be a doctor, a psychologist, or a dentist, or a surgeon, or a scientist, earth, body, medical, disease analyst, anything that's like really important, CSI agents, or investigators, computer technicians. Like, some of these courses require 5-6 years of school, and they're coming out in the negative, and I don't think that's fair, and it's not encouraging these kids to go to school. When you ask them why they're not going to school, it's, I don't want to be in debt. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I have to work a full-time job, and I don't have enough energy to work a full-time job and go to school full-time. I want to go back to school, and I'm facing that same thing. I won't have the time or the energy to be able to dedicate to either, respectively. And I think the government doesn't take that into effect, how much time school really requires. And it's not just about helping them through school for free. Like, we came up with all these, no offense, I'm like not trying to get political, but we came up with all this money somewhere to help people in other countries. Why can't we help our own kids through school, or people who want to go to school full time? Like, you can make it hard, like you have to maintain a certain GPA to get weekly payments. Like, you can have them work part-time, because I think it's fair to go to school and work part-time. I think that's very doable, but it's really taxing to put all of the pressure of a student full-time and that workload, and then ask them to work 40 hours, and that's what they're facing just to be able to afford rent and their cars and all this stuff. And that's another thing we're getting into. Cars is so much money. So if you send your kid to school and they aren't in a city, so you're going to a SUNY school, like, way out, maybe in Morrisville, New York, which is bumfucked Egypt. There's nothing around. Uber is barely existent. And that kids want to go to school, so the parents have to pay for a car on top of living fees and feeding their kid. And they do these roundabout packages for the parents, like you pay one price for the dorm, for your food and your parking, and whatever amenities the school has, like the gym, that's included in your tuition, and you can get like certain amount of meals at the cafeteria if your school has that. But think realistically, that's only the year one. Usually they, maybe 2 years in a SUNY school, they usually make you stay 1 year in the dorm. But after that, you're on your own because they're bringing in new freshmen. So then if you want to finish school, which SUNY schools are 2 to 4 years, you're paying for your kids' rent for 3 more years after that. So even if you give them education for free, don't feel like they're getting a cut. Like, they still have to pay for housing, they have to feed themselves, they have to pay for their car insurance, their car payment, if they're not in a public transportation system, whatever they need when they're away from home, medical insurance, if they get sick, they need to, like, and then I don't think people realize the amount of homework a doctor or an attorney or a psychologist actually has per class every semester. I just don't think the government looks at things realistically, and I feel like, to be fair, to get these kids in school, you got to have some kind of incentive to make it worth their while. Like, if you can come up with your own housing, and maybe you give them half of their housing, you can help single parents in America pay for half of their rent. I don't understand why you can't, instead of helping other countries, help. I'm not saying cut those programs, but let's focus on, instead of hiring other countries to come in and be our doctors and dentists and psychologists, why not promote these younger generations, support them with their housing? Cars are not a luxury. The government needs to stop counting them as luxuries unless you live in New York City. That's the only time that transportation is genuinely free with the subway. Not even free, you got to buy the subway card, but you know what I mean? Like, the rest of the world depends on their car to make money, and it costs so much to buy a car, to maintain a car, for your fuel. It takes so much of our paychecks, and we can't even count it when we go to ask for help. They look at it, they count it as a luxury, but it really isn't, and especially for students. You know, something happens and they got to go home, they're away from home, they're independent, they're usually going to different states, not all the time, and I feel like it's also cheaper for your child to stay in the state and get a state education. So maybe if you make it so the kid can go to school in a SUNY school in their state, that's still promoting them to go towards a school. And you know, we got to start somewhere. Or these kids aren't gonna go. They have no initiative, and I don't blame them. They have everything against them. You know, we used to be able to depend on that extra tuition money that you would get kicked back. And again, that wears off. You don't get that every year of college. But it's like, they have to work full time and they're exhausted. They're coming out of school at 18 years old and they're stressed out and exhausted just at the cost of living. And they can't even comprehend the thought of being able to manage both. And this is a problem we need to fix. We should be promoting our country to focus on intelligence and focus on providing within our own country. We need to stop outsourcing things that we can't fill because we have a shortage, and start promoting our own people to treat our own people and take care of our own country. It's only promoting ourselves. It's giving ourselves jobs. These kids have nothing to look forward to. Everything is hard. Everything is hard. Even for the professors and the teachers. And to be fair, why should they go to school? They're watching all these people with fucking degrees not being able to get jobs. So can we focus on making it free? Can we focus on paying people better? SUNY schools is a great way to start. If you want to go to a state school, you can pay for it and have that better credential. But everybody deserves the chance to be able to go to school, especially people in poor neighborhoods, and they're just not going because they have to go get a job. It's just sad, and this is where we should start.